Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips, the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think I'll have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day. My beginning will be as bright as the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now
see this? How you cannot go
baby,
here?
baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled
who
to
are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Where does the fault lie on you? Hey everybody, welcome to another chat. We're gonna get on into it, but I want to say thank you guys for coming on in. It is Friday, the 14th, March, and we on in here. We got Sanja Watts in the building. She came in here first. Good afternoon to you, Queen. We got Danielle in the building. Hey. Ruby Turner done showed up. She turned up. Miss Turner. We got Shirley Stockdale in the building. We got Zena Torbert in the building. Nancy LaRose in the building. Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome. Come on in. If you in the channel, you ain't said hi, just come on in and say hi. We all good over here. Everything, life is life. You know what, you guys? Life is life. I was going to come on earlier, just walk, but shoot, that wind out there is something else. Man, let me tell you how good God is today. I was at the store just a few minutes ago. It ain't even been 5 minutes ago. I was at the store and I was putting the stuff in from the cart in my car, and I look down and I see a $20 bill and it's rolling in the parking lot. So I chased it a little bit and I stepped on it. Then I got to seeing some more 20s start rolling. I started chasing them 20s in that parking lot. I couldn't catch them, but I got one. I seen about 4 more, and they was just rolling, and I done left my car door open and everything. People all in the parking lot running after the money. I'm running after the money. They running after money. I done left my car door, my purse, everything. But I got $20. But see, God is good. I don't know who it was. I looked for the person. I didn't look hard. I looked to see if anybody was like, that's my money. Nobody didn't say, that's my money. Didn't nobody. Everybody just in the parking lot talking about, there's money rolling down. I'm running. I'm running to go get it. Yeah, usually, I feel some kind of way. I didn't feel no kind of way. It's just the wind must have blew somebody's money out the hand, and it's just rolling down in the parking lot, and some people was chasing it and some people wasn't it. I almost got a lot of that money, but I only ended up with $20. But I don't want to look at a blessing and people be like, was that really a blessing, SP? Because as soon as I hit that corner to come home, I ran over a stick and it got stuck in my car, and it was like, right. I said, oh my God, I need to go take this $20 back and just throw it in the parking lot, because I don't need my car breaking down just for a 20. You know what I'm saying? So then at that, I looked underneath the car and I pulled a stick out and I was like, okay, it's all good. But, I did think for a minute, maybe I need to go and find who the owner of that 20 is. Because, hey, I didn't need $20 that bad. But anyway, you guys, let's get off into the, hey, Woke to God, how you doing? I see you in the building. Lisa Calhoun done came on in here. You guys know we starting to come on a little bit early so we can get in and get out. I always tell you what I'm cooking, what I'm eating, what I bought, or what if we're going out to eat or we ordering out to eat. Tonight we're going to have rotisserie chicken, and it's a spicy chicken, you guys. I didn't rotisserize it. Dylan's did, because, it just marinates in its juice all day long. So I said it was smelling good. I was going to bake some chicken, and I said, shoot, why am I going to heat up my house when the chicken that's already baked is $7, and then the chicken that's not baked is $6.95? Why do I want to bake chicken and heat my house up when they've done already rotisserized a piece of chicken? And it wasn't a piece of chicken, it's a whole chicken. And just like I would have bought a whole chicken, and I really wouldn't have bought a whole chicken, I would have bought some thighs and legs or something, it would have added up to $7-9 anyway, So I bought the chicken, and we're gonna have chicken and rice and just a little bit of green beans and a roll or something, something simple. And it didn't cost that much. Like I said, it was like $7.99. Right now, Dylan's got a sale on the soda. If you're buying soda, you buy 2, you get 2 for free. That's a good deal, you guys. And normally, sometimes they'll say buy 2 and get 3 for free. Even when they say buy 2 and get 2 for free, it's still a good deal. Trust me. If you drink a little soda, then, it'll be a good deal, So anyway, that's what's up on the dinner. But let's talk about the Naziah. A lot of people say, why is it that you want to talk about Naziah? And so let me tell you something. I don't know where Tina Powers is at. I spoken to some of the mods in the last couple of days. I've been calling them up saying, hey, what's going on? Just wanting to see where their head is at. And I'm pretty sure I spoke to everyone but about one person. And the only reason why I haven't is because I know that their numbers changed, and I really haven't saved their new number. And so, when I see them, I'll say, hey, give me a call, But other than that, we discuss, the information that we have, the information that we find out, the information that's changed, the information. And let me put this out there. So the last time that we were on, there was somebody in the chat, and I really respect that person to come out and say, hey, they wasn't talking about Kenyatta, the mama, having the child at 11. They were talking about the grandmother. And I was like, oh, wow, let me go back and let me see. Well, you know what? Exactly. Well, I don't know for sure. They just said she had a child. So, they could have more information, and so it could be the grandmother that had the child at 11 years old. Nevertheless, the whole moral of the story that we were talking about. But it's good to have those details. It's good for somebody to come in and say, hey, do. This is this is that. Because like I said, we're just getting information, and we're trying to keep her name visible, alive, you guys, because you guys know what happened. There's always going to be another story. There's always going to be another child. People come to me all day, every day. I kid you not. My phone will be ringing about, hey, did you hear about this child over here? Hey, did you hear? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. But there's something about this one. You know what I'm saying? All kids are relevant. They are. They are relevant. But there's something about this baby here, Naziah Harrs, that, we sometimes, if we can't support by being down there in Detroit, we're not trying to be messy, but we do want to do our due diligence and keep her name alive when there's really absolutely no new information. Nobody's speaking, nobody's talking, everybody's keeping hush hush. And you know what's the funny thing about it is, and I wish I was down there in Detroit. Well, I don't want to live down there in Detroit. But if I was down there in Detroit, boy, I'd be going everywhere. I'd be hitting that block every day. Y'all be like, y'all, we looking. Y'all, we watching. We knocking on doors. We going to ask some questions. We going to go down in Crack Alley and ask who knows who and all this other stuff. Oh, yeah, we will find out some stuff. You guys know, I'm not a really nosy person. But I will get on, get my shoes, my tennis shoes on, which I don't have a problem, and knock on some doors. And you know what? I don't mind taking y'all with me. Sometimes I can't do it, but you know what? If I'm close to the situation, I'll be like, my husband be like, honey, we're gonna go all the way down there. We're finna drive all the way down there so you can knock on some doors. And I say, yes. I say, yes, honey. We need to find out what happened to the baby. And he's like, okay, okay. See, one good thing, I can contest. There's going to be good in a relationship and there's going to be bad in a relationship. There's going to be good in a marriage and bad in a marriage. One thing about my marriage that I can say God gave me the right person is when I want to do something, when it comes to these kids, you know what? Can't nobody tell me nothing. My husband don't even try to tell me nothing. He just say, okay. Now, he's not no jellyback that, he be wanting to put his foot down. But one thing it is, like, I don't stop him from his passion in life. Don't stop me what my passion is. If God gives me the spirit to want to go look, go reach out, go help the family, anything that I think I can do, I'm going to try to do it. Regardless if there's one person with me or not, I'll be out there on my own. I told you guys, we done it. We've done it a couple of times. We've done it. We done knocked on some doors. So, and what I wanted to say is that I think, a lot of people, when they have YouTube channels and Facebook and Instagram and all of that, they do it for the clout. They do it for the numbers and the views and stuff. And you do, and I tell people this, you do want the views because that's what you do it for. You do it so people can know that this child is missing and this is what happened. And this is what happens when nobody's watching your daughter, your kids, your grandkids, or who's watching and who do you trust in and everything. We're putting out all that information. Yeah, you've heard it before. But sometimes you've got to hear things 3, 4, 5 times. And then you start looking at your own kids and your own grandkids and asking questions. And your kids, Mama, I don't want to go over there. And you making them go. Shoot. Just one day, just start baking a cake and say, come in the kitchen and help me bake this cake. And then say, well, grab the flour And then she grabbed the flour and you say, oh man, you doing good. I'm going to go ahead and let you use the mixer today. And she's like, yeah, put that egg in there. And she putting the egg in there. And you say, hey, why you don't want to go over your auntie's house? Or, why you don't want to go over grandma's house? You gotta just still talk to them. And sometimes at the right time, they will open up. Sometimes it's got to be a sleeping party or something. When the kids is all, coming over and spending the night and wanting to sleep, and you get the popcorn out or something, and you say, hey, why you don't want to go home? What's going on? It's those times, you guys, when the adults are not around, that you can question that child in a nice, safe environment, and they will tell you. They will say, well, Juju being, they be touching me. Or they be, this or that. You guys, I want to share a friend with you guys one day. I told her that I would bring her on. She got a real crazy story. Alright? So, anywho's, like, she was tampered with at a young age. I mean, she told me, y'all gonna get to meet her, and her child got killed by her ex-boyfriend. She didn't know it. When they did the autopsy and stuff, because she didn't know, she just thought it was, SIDS or whatever they call it up. But then when another child died, it wasn't her child, but one of his girlfriend's children died. And they started investigating. They found out it was him. But anyway, she was telling me that she was SA at a young age. And she told, she didn't want to tell her mom. And I said, why? Why you didn't want to tell? And, a lot of people don't really understand, and I'm going to put it like this. To tell somebody that love you, and they love the person that they're with. This is going to be quick. They don't want me. I told you they were talking about something that ain't got nothing to do with me. Talking about some kind of tax program. Anyway, I was listening to this podcast about, it's a guy, his name, he's a comic, and he's a clean comic. What I mean by that, he's a Christian comedian. And so he goes to the churches and things of that nature. And then when we had the pandemic, he started going into the bars and stuff. But, I mean, he's still a Christian, It's just the churches were shut down. And his name, you guys, I'm going to just throw it out there because I enjoy his comedy. I love comedy. But, to have a fresh look at comedy where it ain't got to be a whole bunch of, cussing words and talking, everything's got to be a B or, and talking about body parts and P's and stuff, it is good to listen to someone that is clean. His name is Marcus Wiley. You guys want to look him up on YouTube on some of his sketches and things that he has done. Like I said, his name is Marcus Wiley. He's got probably about 4 or 5 specials out there, and I watch them. I watch every last one of them. They're only about 45 minutes a piece, but I watch them all in one day and watch them again or whatever. But he had sit down with these 2 other guys, and they were talking. They were interviewing him, and he said he had met. He had a friend. And one day he had went out. This is before he got married and all this other stuff. Or I can't remember if it was before or after. Nevertheless, he's seen his girlfriend's, he's seen his his male friend's girlfriend all hugged up with a guy, and he knew that his male friend was so in love with this young lady. And he said it hurted him that he left the club, because he was like, man, this guy's going all out, getting his life right, getting his job right, getting his money right for this woman, and she acting like she's single. And so, but this was one of his best friends. And so they asked him, well, did you go tell your friend? And he said, no. He said, why would I want to go hurt my friend? He says, no, ain't no way in the world I was going to tell him that she was out doing whatever she was doing. And I kind of was like, why he wouldn't go tell? He said he went to the woman and told her that he seen her. And if she didn't want him, let him go. So I'm giving you this scenario because I know when you tell somebody something, especially your girlfriend or your cousin or your mama, your grandmother, and they love this other person also. They love you and they love this other person also. You don't know if they love them more or you don't know less. You don't know. I've had a girlfriend before, and her boyfriend tried to arm me. He did. I mean, we tore up my whole house, me trying to stay away from him. And I got away from him, but my whole house was tore up. I had a glass coffee table. It was broke. It was tore up. The whole house was tore up. And he finally left. I had to get a KNIFT, you know what I'm saying, to make him leave. Well, then that morning, I went and picked her up, and I said, I'm not going to tell you what happened, but you know who came over waiting on you. You could never come over that night because you know what was up with you, but I'm finna take you to my house. And then, you decide what you think, what happened. This was my best friend, you guys. She was my best friend. And she came to the house and she looked, and my whole house was tore up. Everything was knocked over, broken. I mean, we tore that house up. Anyway, see, and you never know what's gonna happen, like what if I wouldn't have fought him off and it happened? Then what? Then he would have to probably take me out. Or I don't know. I'm thinking, something was gonna happen, so, I just cannot let it happen. And so he think it's okay, And it is a little bit better, okay, not happening. But anyway, she looked at my house and she says, I know what happened. And I said, oh, you do? What happened? She was like, oh, I'm not going to say his name on here. But she said, he was trying to, well, did y'all do it? And I said, no. I said, I had to back him off with this, and I showed her and everything. And he finally left. She was like, okay. You know what? And I told her in a nice way, like, we usually, your friend come over, your man come over, my man come over. They were both brothers. Her boyfriend and my boyfriend was brothers. So, and we would always hang out, kick it together. He would spend the night at the house. They sleep on the couch or whatever. We go in the back room and shoot. I mean, it was good. Anyway, and I told her that he cannot come back over anymore. Oh yeah, as long as they're respectful. True that, woke to God. So, we hear Cody's voice. What's up? She said he probably had tried all her friends. Okay, let me finish telling you what happened. The friendship ceased. I did not even know it. Like, she still kept kicking it with him and everything, and I didn't have a problem with that. It's just he can't come over to my house anymore. He's not welcome no more. And I let her know that. So one day I had went to the club, and she was at the club. They were sitting in the booth together, and so she gonna say, "Tell him what you told me." And I look at her, and I said, "I told her that you did this," and I said it. And he was like, "I ain't did nothing to you. I ain't did nothing." She's like, "Girl, you crazy. You tripping." Da-da-da-da-da. And she started laughing. And I just looked at her. Because me and her was thicker than thieves. I mean, we done did a lot of stuff together. I mean, me and her was friends from 3rd grade. And now here we are. I think we was around about... I hadn't had no kids yet. I started having my kids when I was 26. So I think I was probably around about 22, 23, 24. 3rd grade, you're looking at 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 years old. So 8 to 23. I mean, somewhere around about 15 years. I think that's about 15, right? I do math pretty quick in my head. It may be off a little bit, but whatever. So anyway, you've got a 15 to somewhat year relationship with somebody that every day you guys grew up together, got in trouble together, lived at each other's house. I mean, every day you guys were together, to now this guy is in her life and he tried to do what he tried to do, and you know what? She believed him. She believed him. And for the one that just said he probably did her friends, well, let me tell you the end of that story. I was hurt that not only seeing her with him, but she started laughing like it was some joke or it was funny. And wasn't nothing funny about it, Yes, she chose him. And I just was like, whatever. But that was my best friend. So now I don't have a best friend. I mean, I don't need 2, 3 people to be my best friend. One best friend is good enough for me. I mean, she could finish my sentence. If I had something, I made sure she had it also. Okay? Like I said, we did dirt together, you guys. I told you I was in them streets for a while, right? Because I left home at the age of 14. So I was in them streets. So we did a lot of dirt together. So, I mean, we knew each other very well. Anyway. So time went on. She got a child by this man. She got a baby by him. Okay? And that's all good and everything. So I was somewhere getting a blood test done. The blood test was for a job that, like when you're a nurse, sometimes they try to play tricks back in the day and tell you, they need this, they don't have this immune shot that you were supposed to get when you were a kid or something. I said, what are you guys talking about? They was like, well, we just need you to go down there. When can you go down there and show your ID, and we'll see if you need to take this shot, which did not make sense to me. But you know what I said? I said, okay. I said, when you want me to go? And they decided, okay, we're going to catch her. Because I don't know, maybe I was doing some crazy stuff like they couldn't understand. Like, I don't know. So I went And when I pulled up, I seen her. And I said, hey, let's just call her L, okay? I said, hey, L. I said, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while. And I noticed, her teeth was yellow. So I know she been out there doing that stuff. I mean, it was caked yellow, like a whole bunch of calcium and plaque. And it wasn't just like a cigarette yellow. It was like, I just don't even brush. And this girl normally takes really good care of herself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling y'all the tea. But I seen her and I spoke to her and I said, hey, what's going on? We gave each other a hug. Said, I haven't seen you in a while. How you been doing? She was like, yeah. She said, I got a daughter. And she said, I'm getting a blood test done on my daughter because I'm putting child support on his name. Let's call him, we're going to call her L. We're going to call him Al. Okay? Because, yeah, I can remember that for a good reason. Okay? So, I said, you getting a blood test? She said, yeah, he in prison, girl. I said, girl, what is he in prison for? She said, he tried to rape my auntie. No. Let me take that back. Let me not tell that lie. He raped my auntie, she said. It wasn't no try. He raped with an ED on the end. And my mouth flew open. I said, oh my God. I said, no. And I looked at her. She said, yeah. He was supposed to come over and pick up the baby. And he went over there and he did that. And she pressed charges. And the family is all broken up behind it. Because they didn't, she said, I didn't believe he did it. And I just looked at her. But guess what? She had cameras in her house. Some cheap cameras. The first ones that came out. Like some really cheap cameras. Like it was with her security system. Anyway, yeah. They stick up in the corner of the house or whatever. Somebody come in the door. They see somebody come in the door and all this other stuff or whatever. And then, like it'll record. I don't know how it worked or whatever. I can't tell you guys the details about it, but it was recorded. Isn't that something that somebody had to be like, they not going to believe it until they see it. And guess what? He left his, his sperm, whatever you want to call it, as evidence all over that house. He didn't hurt her when he got done. And when he went to court, you guys, he said that she had been, making advances at him. So he tried to make it seem like she had told him to come over and they was going to play like, a scene or something, and that gets her aroused or whatever. Nevertheless, anyway, he was in prison. And I said, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I told her, I said, I'm sorry to hear that. I could have said to her, girl, I tried to tell you. I wanted to say that to her. But her baby daddy, yeah, She knew. She knew. You know, and the crazy thing about it, like I said, I could tell by her teeth, she been living a hard life. Because she always did the weed thing, I was the only one that didn't never do weed. I just really didn't, you guys. I ain't gonna deny that I ain't never tried it before, and I probably did it for a week or two or whatever. I tried it, I don't really see nothing wrong with it. I'm gonna be honest with you. But I can't do it because it just don't sit well with me. I just need to, it does something to me like, first of all, you can't do it when you work in the type of job I work. That's number one. The second thing is, and that's the main reason why I won't do it. That's the main reason. So let's get that right. So if anybody say, "Oh, you talking bad about that?" No, I am not. I'm just saying, if I want to have a good paying job, well, I can't do that. And so those are some of the things when you get older, maybe I'll still have that, some people and do it. I would love to, but maybe when I get older, I may not want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because, you got to have control of what you put in your life. Because what you put in it is what you're going to get out. You understand what I'm saying? I guess she thought she tore your house up from talk plumb slow. I don't attract friends like her, but I will be kind to her in my presence for a minute. Exactly. I'm going to tell you. So I thought to myself, because I went back over Naziah's brother's interview, and he said none of them knew. And we think we go back into our situations and we go, yeah, they knew. Ain't no way in the world they didn't know. You know what I'm saying? It makes me paranoid too. That's why I don't do it. But I don't mind being paranoid. I can't be doing nothing. I can't be going to work or driving or whatever, I got grandkids and stuff. I get called in the middle of the night. I got to go. I can't be trying to find Ubers and all this other stuff. No, and like I said, anytime I need a job, they're gonna do a test. They're gonna do a test. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do a test. I don't know when. I ain't had a good a linear job that I can say, oh, shoot, let me get 2-3 more years in. When you find a really good place, like, my first job, I was there 15 straight years. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still with this other job for 7, but shoot, that's, I'm getting ready to let that go. Not saying that I want to, but, like sometimes it's best to leave when you know that people are not being nice and fair. Anyway, nevertheless, you guys, we're talking about Naziah, and we're talking about how people are. Everything in life, and I'm just keeping it real. Let me close this door. Everything in life tells you people are not going to be fair. They're not. I did listen to the song. Tina Powers is in the building. Okay. She asked me today, did you listen to the song? And I was like, no, I didn't. Okay. You wanted me to listen to the song? Guess what? I ran across it. I listened to the song. It is a nice song, but that's about it. I myself, here's the thing. The song is hitting on all the points of her life, basically, which is not really good. Why I say it's not really good is because if somebody got raped or somebody got touched, now somebody making a song out of it, making a song out of it. Come on now. You follow what I'm saying? It's good, but the song is a good song, but You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing. Hold on. Check this out. Let's change the scenario a little bit. Okay? Let's just change it a little bit, okay? And we're just gonna say something that maybe is easier to relate what I'm trying to say. Okay? Okay, let's put a perspective on it. Like, it's easy to say it sounds good when it's not your child. Or your grandchild. But if it was your child that got molested, if it was your child that got killed, or whatever, you want to hear that song? You want to hear that song? You know, my mother died of a natural way, death. You know, natural death. My brother did also. You know, he had a seizure, but I mean, he died natural. Nobody didn't take him out or anything. You know? But, you know, I don't want nobody singing about it. You know? Could you just imagine somebody sitting there talking about they pulled the trigger 5 times, hit him in the head and hit him in the back and touched him in the rump and then killed the baby and the da-da-da-da-da. You know, I'm just, no. I mean, so I listened to the song, and yeah, he put a lot of emphasis on the details. How nobody was there for her, and how the predator was around, and how the predator shared the phone and text her and put some of the texts in there. You want to do it in the basement and do it over? No! I don't want to hear that. This ain't even my child. So, you know, could it be a nice song? Like, yeah, I know they dedicated it to her, and it's a form of art of them expressing and sharing the information. You know, but like, say for instance, you remember the little boy that was somewhere in Texas or whatever, and they threw him in the dryer and all this. I mean, you would look at it differently if it was your child or your grandchild. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just my perspective on it. And I'm just saying, you know, I listen to it and it brings tears to my eyes. Like, no. Who made the song? I think the guy's name is like Blue Cheese or something like that. I think it's Blue Cheese or something. Anyway, he hit details. And I didn't even want to hear it. Like I said, I ran across it, and I thought it was gonna be like, you know, like, so they're gonna have a memorial for Naziah, but you know, the only sad thing I can tell you is that's like the song someone made about Corbin. That young, yeah, 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 yeah. See, you know what I'm saying? And I did not even know that was about a situation till after I was singing the song and playing the song and was like, where's Corbin and da 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 and da 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 and all this other stuff, and we were making mimics or things about it on TikTok and stuff. I even got, matter of fact, I can show it to you right now. Hold on, I can show it to you right now, and that's why I don't even play it no more. Here we go.
Niggas playing hard, but he really soft. Prosper got shot, Tate got shot, Desert got dropped, damn, Nate got popped.
Y'all remember that?
Niggas playing hard, but he really soft. Prosper got shot, Tate got shot, Desert got dropped, damn, Nate got popped.
Y'all remember that? Y'all remember how the family came on and did an interview, the mother, and she was like, it was just a disgrace. You guys remember? And you know what? That's why I don't play the whole thing. But I was looking good though, wasn't I? I was actually trying to do a video on jail or whatever. And I was like, let me sing to that song, cuz the song had a nice hit to it. But I did not know it was about a young man named Corbin that came up missing. And everybody was playing this song and the song went viral. Everybody was making what they call mimics or whatever they call it on that song. So we got to be very careful. You know what I'm saying? Even when we don't know, it's very hurtful. I listened to the mother and what she said. You think I didn't sit back and go, well, dang, the song is nice. Yeah, all of them people were actually people. It's like they said Corbin got shot and such, or such and such got shot and such missing and all this. They told the whole story in the song. And we need to stop making that go viral. I just was like, Papa, I just did one of these sing-alongs to TikTok, and I think it was good. And he was like, where'd you hear that song from? And I was like, I just heard it on the radio. It sounded good though. So I was trying to play hard. I didn't know it was real. Like somebody literally lost a child and they found the child. I didn't know. I don't want to glorify this child's death. You guys understand what I'm saying? No matter how good the song is. I didn't say the song wasn't a good song. I did not say that. I mean, I wasn't bumping my head like I was on there because I really liked it, that song. But you know what I'm saying? I heard every word. It's the wording for me. It was just... Is it different from what we do today? Is it different though? I don't think it's somewhat different because we want the awareness to be out there. But to go off into those details, when those songs go off in those details like that, oh my God. She say, yeah, I found out after the fact that Tank went to school with my granddaughter. That's making a profit off someone's hurt. Yeah. Well, like if it wasn't like death and essays and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that people will make funny of it. You know what I'm saying? She said, I wasn't trying to glorify her death. I was trying to show you that you probably miss her. I know, Tina. You was just showing me some I miss, and I'm glad you showed me that because, like I said, I wouldn't have never seen it. I didn't even look at the video you sent me. I just ended up, running across it. So I just letting you know I seen it now. It ain't. Nah, I'm just saying you didn't make the video. I didn't make the video. It's nothing wrong. When these people want to do a memorial service for the young lady, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Even if the family disagree, I don't see. Because the family didn't even, didn't respect her in the first place. Or she wouldn't have been in that situation. I'm just being honest with you. They didn't know what was going on with her. They didn't know. No, y'all a little sensitive. Y'all just a little sensitive. I was not saying you did anything wrong. You did exactly what you supposed to do. If something was out there, you were supposed to let me know. And yeah, I didn't go looking for it. I stumbled on it and I was like, oh my goodness. Like I couldn't really tell you how I felt about it from, like the day one. But, hold on. But you was only doing what you were supposed to do. Exactly. Imagine how those mothers feel. Yeah. Like I would have never thought about it until I heard Corbin's mom spoke out. Exactly. I didn't either. Then my daughter told me the oldest granddaughter went to school with the boy who was named, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes we be thinking we're doing good or, whatever, making songs up and, like, she said, we good. It's out there like Cupcake, Yeah. They made a song about Cupcake. I never did get to hear it. I never did. Like if they had video of her in her living and, like, the father would come out and speak on how she was, like Cupcake was, this beautiful little girl that she was the boss. She told everybody what to do. That makes me happy. Like, she riding that bicycle. Well, she wasn't listening to nobody. She riding the bicycle. April be like, Cupcake. She like, shoot, girl, you ain't telling me. You don't tell me what to do. And Cupcake riding the bicycle or something. That makes everybody smile because, she was happy. She was being a little girl. And, if we seen her at her birthday party and she blowing out the candles and she didn't get what she wanted or something. Those are things, Like, why are we doing all this viral stuff to go viral? You know what I mean? Exactly. So hold on, because I'm getting text messages. I've got 37. So hold on real quick, you guys. Let me see what's going on. Oh, a song for Cody. So they got a song for Cody. You guys, hold on. Anyway, listen. This is for Cody.
Cody, little light in the night, missing from Hampton, spirits take flight. We're Cody's voice in the whispering breeze. We'll keep searching through the tall, swaying trees. You stole our hearts, a bond unbroken, a community's love, a promise spoken. Cody Bixby, we'll never let you go. Together we'll find the path you need to know. In every prayer, in every tear we shed, your smile leads us in all that's said. We're calling out from heart and soul. We'll find you, Cody. You'll make us whole. You stole our hearts, a bond unbroken, a community's love, a promise spoken. Cody Bixby, we'll never let you go. Together we'll find the path you need to know. In dreams and echoes, your laughter we hear, a guiding star forever near. We'll search the earth, sky and sea, till you're home, where you're meant to be. You stole our hearts, a bond unbroken, a community's love, a promise spoken. Cody Bixby, we'll never let you go. Together we'll find the path you need to know.
Okay, that was a nice song. That was very nice. That's a little different. Now I could see a song like that. You know, like I could see a song like that. But the other song, um, let me see if I can pull it up, you guys. Just a little bit of it. Just a little bit of it. Just a little bit of it. If I can't, let me mute this real quick. He said the daddy was a John and the mama was a hoe. Yeah, yeah, the Cody song is country. He said the daddy. What song is this? Is the Naziah song. You guys, this is the Naziah song. He's got a channel and he's a rapper. He's a young kid, he's a rapper. And they want him to be at the memorial, I guess, to sing his song. They were saying, I got to have him. I'll let y'all hear it a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. He got 6,000 views. It's been up for 7 days. Yeah. They said everyone shared this young man deserves a viral moment for his great deed and his raw emotion that shows the community is hurting. Okay. Then somebody said this gave me chills. Came over crazy. I had thoughts about making a song about this. Lyrically, that S hitting hard. Yeah. What it says, this young generation love that kind of rapping and singing. Yeah. Lisa Taylor says she liked the Cody song. Cody song was beautiful, by the way. That other song reminds me of Detroit. Yeah. But everybody's saying good things about the song. Just heard your song. You nailed it. This song is fire. Did your homework. Yeah. I'm going to say that song sound creepy to you. Okay. I'm going to say, okay, so there's this YouTuber that's very big. She comes on all the time and I respect her. She likes it. And I'm going to say that's why he's getting a lot of love, is because she likes it. And that's cool, you guys. I'm just saying it's not, it's not something I'm like. The lyrics is right on point. Let's give him that. he can probably rap to anything and put anything together. You know what I'm saying? But I just wouldn't. I wouldn't support it though. It makes me and see we're gonna have different ideals about stuff. You know. We gonna have different ideas about something. Did I not put an I in her name? Doggone it, I did not put an I in her name. Let me go in here and change it. Alright. So. You know. Anyway. Hello, how you doing? We all are unique and raised in different environments, exactly. I'm just saying it's just not for me. But I'm glad that we did know that there was a song out there. And so, you know. Yeah. Anyway, you guys. I was just letting you guys know that she's supposed to have some kind of memorial service in April. I'm gonna definitely try to be there or join, or hopefully I'm working, but it could still be what it be. Surely my husband wants by. Yeah, anyway. To each his own. I'm old school, so I didn't like the song. Oh, okay. Yeah, and you're a little bit of country too, because that Cody song is country. And I don't care for country, but I mean, I listened to the lyrics and, it was soothing. It didn't make me cringe, like get mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a soft, loving, kind gesture. That's, you know what I'm saying? It's different when you boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? And then, you throw in the details. Like I know, how can you make a song and not put the details in there? Once you put the person's name in there, then, and sometimes, when you put the full name in there, then you know exactly who they're talking about or whatever. But, so, the family could get mad about that. The family can get mad on, I'm not talking about on the Cody one, because why would they? It's beautiful. I mean, it's not saying some details about how he passed, or what he went through, or some real negative stuff. Like, I don't know why the world now thinks that hearing that is hit. The young generation is like, ooh, that's hitting. Ooh, that's hitting. Okay. Yeah, she said, yes, it is. It just didn't. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It was soothing. So it was respectable. It was respectable, and, we can listen to it and just think about the child. You know what I'm saying? Like, But here's the thing. There's different generations too. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm from the old school. So just because it didn't, I'm not saying, hey, if that was my child, I would be happy about the song. I wouldn't. I'm not talking about the Cody song. I'm talking about the other song, the Naziah song. I'm just saying I wouldn't. So, you know what I'm saying? She said, put it in my sock. I'm definitely old school, and my son ruins me with the rap, all that mess. It just came from my heart. Yeah. Yeah. But see, the only thing wrong with your song, like I said, it ain't wrong really. It's like if you a country type person and you like country type rhythm, then it's great. But why couldn't have been with something just more soothing? But because, I don't really listen to country, but it still was not disrespectful at all. Period. Like the mother could respect the song and like the song and be like, oh, they put my baby's name in a song, and just think, and she would cry, but she would cry because, there's someone else other than her that remembers her child. You know what I'm saying? The memorial in Detroit has been canceled for April. What? Tina, what you talking about? They done canceled it already? Soldier Girl says the rap was telling the story. I understand. Yeah, the rap was telling the story. But see, she said, Tina said, I like R&B. I do too. But see, we're from the older generation. But the kids now, they don't like R&B. They like the rapping. But her brother made a song too. Oh, he did? Is it good? Is it a good song? I haven't heard the brother song. I heard that one, and if anybody want to go listen to the song or whatever, you can find it on Big Blue Cheese. Just Google Blue Cheese, and I'm not going to let it's Blue Cheese, BLUUCHEEZE, Blue Cheese. I've never heard of him before, and I'm electric with means I like all kinds of music. Oh, okay. I like all genres of music. Okay. Yep, parents said no. Oh, the parents said nope. Well, see, there you have it. See what I'm saying? The parents said no already. I have country veteran friends, and I'm used to the country. It's okay, SP. It won't go viral. No, it won't. It won't. It won't. But if the guy some of the things he said, if he said it in a more of a, not talking about the P, because a person's not guilty, they're charged. That's one thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that you don't want to do, is put a song out there before a person is charged. And then the other thing is, like, get the sometimes you got to try to get the parents' approval. Get the parents' approval. I'm hoping that he pick another song, something, because she probably would. Naziah would dance to music like that. So she would do TikTok dances and stuff. So she was very creative about liking to dance and do the little mimic dances like everybody else and stuff. So it has to be an upbeat song, but something that she would, like she would appreciate. I don't know if she would appreciate that song. I don't know her that well. But I promise you that song. I promise you that it's been going for 7 days and it's got 6,000 views. That's not a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it's a new account too, so it wasn't like they were trying to just, maybe they thought it was gonna go viral. I don't believe it is. The song is it's okay for rap, but no. I can say this though, the boy got potential. Hey, this is SP.
Hey, SP. You know the beat that he was using, Brenda Had a Baby?
No.
Blue Cheese, yeah. That's the beat that, you remember when Tupac had the song Brenda Had a Baby? Or Brenda Has a Baby?
No, but it's from
Okay, well,
it's from Tupac.
yeah, that's from Tupac.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
So, okay.
He was very creative, but I wouldn't have done it like that. Calling the mama a hoe. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very creative.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have.
And
Not like that.
I mean, even if it is true, do you want something like that to go viral?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you was the mother.
I would ask him politely take it down. I mean, if it was my child, I would ask him politely just take it down.
Because you got to remember, the mom, she lost a child through the Child Protective Services, or she gave up the child. We don't know. But
We don't know, right?
but the grandmother ended up with the child. That's just devastating by itself. Nobody wants their dirty laundry out there in the streets like that. They just don't. And then to be reminded of how you felt this child, which, here's the thing, when she lost custody and she's out there trying to get her life together, this can push her over.
Exactly.
She still got another child. You know what I'm saying? And she probably thought, who else better to have her child than her mother?
Right. But her mother failed her too.
The grandmother, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, grandmas are supposed to make your house safe.
Grandmothers are supposed to.
Yeah, but this grandparent, I mean, excuse me for when I say this, but what the hell happened to her house?
Well, if what Jay said the other day, the 11-year-old was the grandmother that got pregnant and was having kids and being promiscuous and just all over the place. See, when people do things and they don't get caught up in it, they think it ain't no problem. I had kids at a young age, so okay, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
they really, being a mother at a young age doesn't really make you a mother. It makes you a dependent to the government, because
Right.
You're gonna need government assistance. You can't get a job. You can't drive a car. You can't buy liquor. You can't rent a house or anything. So you got to live underneath somebody to take care of you and now your child. And then you're still having more kids. So you're hardhead. So like, and it still adds up a generational curse.
Yep. I mean, I'm an 80s, 90s babies, so, back then, I'm talking like I'm like 65 or something. But back then, we used to see kids all the time. 16, 17, 13, it was a common thing back in the 80s and 90s.
Well, yeah, 16.
But now, we see kids younger than that.
Yeah. 9, 10, 11,
Right,
12.
right.
Those are the ages now. You know why? Because 16 is too old.
Yeah.
These P's are looking at the 16 like, you're fast. The 16 is like, they text a young girl and she's like, get my nails done. Get my hair done. I didn't even think I would see young ladies wearing wigs. I mean, little girls. Like 13, 14-year-old wearing wigs. That was for an older woman. That wasn't for young ladies. But
look how they dress now. They look older than what they really are.
Because guess what? They get their nails done like a young lady. They wearing wigs like older women.
Yep.
So they don't look like little girls no more.
Nope.
They putting on the makeup. They're already dressing that way.
Yep.
Now they're getting their hair done.
But mama's, look, I'm going to tell you like you told us. If you bring the atmosphere to the child, what do you think the child is going to do?
And you know what? And you know what the sad thing about the whole situation is? You could be totally against it, and that child spends more time at school than at home. Who do you think is going to influence that child? Especially if you're a single parent and you work okay, check this out. The child gets up at 6 o'clock. She said 6:30 kids get up, right?
Right.
And then, they get ready for school and all this other stuff. She drops them off. They go to school. They in school all the way until 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Right.
Then when they get home, they got chores to do, maybe a little bit of homework, talk on the phone for about, an hour. They got to eat. They got to take a bath. They got to go to bed by 8, 9 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
So from 3 to 8 is only about 5 hours to eat, homework, communicate with your child. 5 hours. While the school got from 7 o'clock in the morning until 3 in the afternoon.
Yep.
And see, their time, all the things that the kid need to eat, shower, brush your teeth, do a little homework. They busy. Might go out and play for an hour or two, But then when the child at school, they're getting introduced to all this stuff. Got tablets and phones and all of this stuff.
Man,
Crazy.
everybody used to ask me, how come you won't let your child go, to such and such and so-and-so's house? Let me tell you something. I used to tell my daughter all the time, I need the mama name, the mama number, the daddy name, the daddy number, because I don't know where you come from, but I come from, I need to know.
Exactly.
I need to know.
Exactly.
I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I think it was some time ago.
Hold on, Miss Tina, because I got to give a shout out. Just hold on. Don't lose your thought. Let me thank Sugar Mama coming in here. I gotta write her name down. She says she want that twerking chicken in there. Let's see what's up.
Nothing but golden nuggets.
SP News Nuggets. And you guys, we're gonna have a lovely time. And if we don't, oh well. Here we go.
I'm known to throw shade.
Naziah Robinson died as the result of a spinal injury.
Well, they told us it was alcohol poison.
Go and terrorize black and brown communities.
Tell me the truth. I won't even get mad. I won't get mad.
Are you sure you ain't gonna get
I'm
mad?
not gonna get mad. Just tell me if you slept with her, yes, I won't
Are
get
you
mad.
sure you ain't gonna get
I
mad?
won't get mad.
Alright, well, I slept with her.
Come on.
You laughing.
That's you, it should.
It sure is. He takes off. Even in the house he runs like that.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Sugar Mama, coming through like you always do. Thank you for the super chat. What was you saying, Miss Tina?
Okay, I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but there was a little girl that went to a slumber party, and her friends killed her, you know, at the slumber party. And I don't know if y'all remember that or not, but I do. But I'm like this. I'm a parent. I need to know where my child is. I just feel sorry for these babies. We having them like left or right now. Every time when I look for something, I look at something else, and I read up on that story. Just to do something. So that way if you need anything, I can be like, oh yeah, I got it, or maybe I can get woke to God to look on it for me or whatever, but, I'm always looking, but man, come on now, we need to stop. We need to do better. We need to do better by these girls.
Yep.
Do better, y'all.
Exactly.
Do better.
Exactly.
But that's all I got, SP.
You know what, Miss Tina?
What's up?
I don't know how we gonna be able to try to get to, like, our kids are grown,
Thank God.
and even talking to the young ladies, they don't want to listen. I just, and it's hard to say, like, they rather cause chaos and drama and confusion and lying, and then they cry like, I don't know. I'm going to tell you something that's been on my mind today. And I think Sugar Mama and I talked about this. The two kids that froze in that car.
Oh, my God.
The mother, we don't put blame, but we're wondering, like, what really happened, because you get a check, and we're talking about the mom now. We're looking at the mom, and the grandmother was in the car also. So if you get checks for these 4 kids, you get a check for 4 kids and food stamps.
Right.
How in the world are y'all running out of gas? You're not paying any rent. Where's the money going? So she's on the news crying, talking about, I went for help. You get 4 checks. 4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Huh.
Girl, Something ain't right with that can of paint.
And they were out of, I think if they said October or something. October, November, December, January. October, November, December, January. You got 4 checks. Okay. And I don't know how much, but I guarantee you getting more than 200 apiece. So, more than that. And you're getting food stamps. You got 4 kids. Why do you need a free home? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and then she said, well, I tried to send the kids to the dad, and he was living with some girl, so they couldn't have the kids. Like, okay, I understand that. I understand this man, he went on his way, and he was looking for a home himself, and he hooked up with somebody that had a home. He can't just say, okay, now I'm finna bring my 4 kids, and then she getting a check. And you know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
But,
Girl, you haven't noticed the update now?
what?
Section 8 gave them an apartment.
I know they did.
For 1 year.
But you know what? She ain't got them kids.
No, she ain't.
Yeah, they gave them apartment and people's donating. But I'm sitting there thinking to myself, even if you got, sometimes people got nothing. I mean, they got 0. But you've been out there for 4 months. Surely you've got gas money to put gas in the vehicle and to go get a room.
Right.
I would, you know, like, I mean, it's just evident that you could, okay, and I tell people this all the time. Like, okay, when you have one child, it's hard for a woman. It really is. It's really hard for a woman to go someplace and bring your child with you. Because, you know, like, there's people be like, you know, SP, I'll let you come and stay. But then, I mean, when I had my kids, I had to think, where can I go? I can only go to my mama's house with my kids.
Right.
And if grandma is in the car with her, that means grandma ain't even got a place to stay. So why is both women ain't got a place to stay with 4 kids?
Now, grandma probably got a check too, SP, because grandma probably retired. You see where I'm going?
And grandma looked young too. Grandma looked young.
Look, they probably go spend all that money on the casinos and stuff.
I'm telling you, you know, there's got to be, like what Soldier Girl said, some rugs or some gambling going on.
Yeah, that's what I said. Well, I said gambling.
Well, it's got to be some rugs too. Ain't that much gambling. She was like, they ate all the time. They eat. Yeah, because you know what? The system was giving you food stamps.
Right. But see, SP, for real, look, check this out. Boyfriend, okay, so baby daddy, right? Look, he was all hugged up with, well, I'm big, so I can, you know, he was all hugged up with girlfriend, and, she, man, I don't even want to talk about it. She was all hugged up with him on Valentine's Day and kissy and all this and all that, talking about some, that's my boo. Girl, get out of here.
The girl was?
Yeah, the girlfriend. Girl.
What girlfriend?
Huh?
What girlfriend?
The baby daddy girlfriend.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, she didn't do anything wrong.
SP, she a woman. She can say, well, baby, come on and get those babies out that cold. You a woman.
Girl, let me tell you something.
Well, maybe you don't have kids. Or maybe she don't have kids. But those are his kids. Don't you love him?
Here's the
Don't
thing.
say that. Love him, love the kids.
He was trying to find a place to go. He probably didn't even tell her, all four of my kids. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I meet a man, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. If I meet a man, first of all, if he got kids, I'm not dating him.
Right.
I've done that, and I'm like, I didn't care for it. I never cared for it. The kids would come over, and sometimes he would leave, and then here I am watching the kids, everybody out partying, and I'm watching y'all kids, and I'm like, hey, and then y'all want to go buy y'all kids ice cream, and my kids, I had to go off and say, look, I am not that type of woman. Take your kids with you.
Right.
I gave you a place to stay, and they can come over, but if they come over, you're babysitting your kids. I'm not babysitting your kids. I go find my kids a babysitter and go do what I got to go do. I didn't leave my kids with you. But for some reason, y'all think it's okay to leave the kids with the girlfriend. Now, here's the thing. If the man I was dating said, I got 4 kids, they got nowhere to go, I would tell him to go get his life right and go get your kids someplace to stay. Because I got a 1-bedroom house, and I'm not going to work, and you and the kids are sitting at my crib.
Fair. That's fair.
I even let my brother come and stay with me, and I didn't leave my kids with him. And he brought the kid with him, the girl's child with him.
But you also got to look at, too, the girlfriend might do some shady stuff to them kids.
At the end of the day, the girlfriend is not responsible for his kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If she said, well, I'll give you a place to stay, but I'm not. I don't want 5 people in my... Because if my man would have told me, like when I dated out there, and he was like, well, the kids got to come and stay with us, I'd be like, shh, you need to go find a place for you and your kids. My lease doesn't say that I can have all these people in this one house.
Well, you know what? Let's go back to the mom for a minute. She had 4 checks, right?
Yeah.
Babies with benefits.
Right. That means...
That's all they were. Babies were benefits. 2 of them are gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
See...
That's all I gotta say with that one.
See, when you bring kids in the equation, people want to be like, if you want to be with me, you got to take my kids too. Yeah, that's true. But at the end of the day, the girlfriend is not responsible for that other woman's children. She's just not. She's just dating the guy. That's a lot. I'm dating you, and now I'm taking care of you and your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, I'm trying to help you get on your feet so you can get a job, so, child support can come out and whatever else or whatever. But, shoot, I didn't sign up for, you asked to come stay with me. You didn't say, I need to bring my 4 kids. And she expected, well, he was living with somebody, so they were like, no, I can't bring the kids. No, you can't. Not everybody's gonna be accepted of bringing 4 kids in their house all at one time, and then you're getting 4 checks, and you ain't got the kids.
Right. Some has to give up the checks and give up the kids.
And CPS was wrong for her. She did ask, but here's the thing: you're getting a check, and you're asking them for free housing when you're getting a check.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And she did not do right with that money.
Absolutely. I agree.
And I'm telling you, even though that they done gave her a place to sleep and rent and an apartment, she gonna go to jail.
Well,
do you think she needs to go to jail? The mama.
If she's beating that system, yeah, she should go to jail.
Here's the thing. If they're pulling, she got money. And it's probably $1,000 a month. You can stay somewhere for $1,000. And she got food stamps. Why are you living in the car?
Girl. I mean, I don't mean to say it like that, but look.
Come on now.
Look. You ain't got to tell me because, let's see. You got a free apartment.
Well, before she had the free apartment, she was getting $1,000 a month.
You got 4 checks, okay? Then you got 4 kids. You got a car. You got mama. You got uncles, brothers, whatever. Okay, so let's go bypass that. Okay, so now you got a free apartment. You got food stamps. You still got your money. So when they come and get you, your apartment is going to be this jail cell that's going to have to be a toilet and your bed. I know exactly what I'm talking about, y'all. I've been to jail. You ain't going to have no privacy. You're going to stay longer than what I did.
See, I'm going to tell you right now, them giving her apartment
that was a big mistake.
With rent free for a whole year.
Rent free, that was a big mistake.
She acting like I asked for help once. You asked for help once, and
CPS should have came and got those damn kids. Sorry for saying that. CPS should have came and got those babies and put them up somewhere else. And she should have got herself together.
I guarantee you they're going to find out she had a certain amount of money each month.
Yep.
And she could have rented a room. She could have. Yep. She didn't have to be out there like that.
Nope.
Was she in the? Why would you park at the casino? The casino now. The casino. Okay.
Because, look, she wanted to go spend her money at the casino. That's why she parked there.
And is they gonna find out that she was in that casino playing, and instead of watching the kids, were they in the casino gambling? Yep. Maybe she got a gambling problem. That's gonna be the other thing. She got a gambling problem. I'm you know what? I'm not accusing this woman, but it just don't add up that you get 4 checks and you're living in the car and you got grandma with you. Who else did she have with her?
I think her brother and her uncle, I think. I'm not for sure, but she got 4 kids. She got grandma, she got uncle, she got brother, she got her. Come on now, y'all couldn't rent a cheap room.
Yeah.
And everywhere you go, you got cameras.
And then, but you decide to park in the parking lot at the casino. And casinos usually don't be in the town area. Casinos usually be on the skirts of the town,
Right.
They don't be in the middle of town, but she at the casino in the parking lot.
Something ain't adding up that paint.
You think that they just drove to the casino to park there?
Oh, Lord, no.
They were in that parking lot for a reason.
Must be a rug deal.
I'm telling you, casino, people can get addicted to the casino, and if you take your check with you, by the time you look up, your check is gone. You like, oh my God, but you can't keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. Little adds up to a lot,
Right.
She said that casino was located downtown Detroit. she said she been there. Sister said she been there. Shoot.
Well, I tell you what, she gonna be in a lock cage. By the time when they figure all this stuff out, they gonna have FBI open up her door, and she gonna go downtown Detroit.
Yeah.
Right down there where what's his name, Jarvis Butts is.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And them kids should have been taken away a long time ago. I mean, what was she doing beforehand?
I don't know. She must have had an apartment. Let me tell you something. You know what? Sometimes I get caught up when I go into the casino, and I be like, shoot, you know what? I was bored today, and you know what though? I ain't going to that casino because I'm bored. You know, because I'm gonna come out broke.
There you go.
You know, and I got money, so just
Like
think.
the lottery.
Yeah, I mean,
People are addicted to bingo. People are addicted to
yeah,
gambling. People are addicted to rugs.
and maybe grandma was living with her, so that's why grandma's with her.
Yep, probably so.
She got kicked out. Grandma got kicked out too.
Yep. Yep.
She would have been better off putting her stuff in storage and staying at the storage place.
Something.
I would have. I would have stayed at the storage place.
Get them babies out from that cold.
You know, because they got electricity in them storage place. Girl, put one of them hot heaters in there and put a couch in there, and we all just set up and go to sleep. You know?
That's right.
Run that heat.
There you go.
They be like, you can't stay here. I'd be like, well, I got to do this and I got to do that and close that door and stay on in there. People have stayed in them storage bins, them storage places.
They sure have.
Yep, she could have went to the hospital parking lot. She could have went into the hospital and set up in the lobby
Yep.
with them kids.
She could have went anywhere with them kids. Besides the casino.
And they would have got her some help.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. She wasn't looking for help at the casino. Only people at the casino is people that's playing at the casino.
Absolutely.
You're not going to pull up at the casino because you just want to sit in the parking lot.
Put it on the table. But anyway, y'all.
Alrighty.
I love everybody.
I love you.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye. There are people that can really help in most cities. Yeah, you know, people think Detroit is getting really bad right now because the spotlight is on Detroit. I guarantee you I'm going to do it right now while we on here. I'm getting ready to get off of here. Because Papa done already said, is we going to eat tonight? But if you put, she said it's a cycle. It's a cycle. They say Detroit is a very fast-growing city. Let's see. Detroit has seen new businesses. But Detroit faces a lot of financial problems, unemployment and housing and foreclosing. Detroit is, I've heard about Detroit. Like, It's 3.3% higher than the national average to live in Detroit. Oh, it's crazy. Rent ranges from $1,000 to $1,900. Utilities are 4% lower. Basic utilities for a 915 square foot apartment around $251 per month. Transportation is 1% higher. Bus fare and gas prices are higher. Child care are higher. 1 month of child care for an infant is around $900 a month. Fitness club is $43 per month. The living wage for one adult in Detroit is, you got to at least make $21. The living wage for two adults working and with a child is $25. So you got to at least make 25. Let me see. On February the 13th, a tragic incident occurred in Chicago where a mother spoke out after her children froze to death in a van that ran out of gas in 17-degree temperatures. A van carrying a family ran out of gas, leaving the children exposed to the harsh cold. The van ran out of gas while temperature plummeted to 17 degrees. Tragically, the children died from hypothermia. Mother's statement. The mother spoke out about the event, likely seeking answers and justice. The location. The incident occurred in Chicago, not Detroit.
Everybody who know me know I worship the ground and kids walk though.
The 29-year-old mother of the two kids that likely froze to death Monday in the parking structure of the Hollywood casino.
Maybe I asked the wrong people for help. But that was the only thing I did wrong.
Tatiana, remembering how many times she reached out for a place to live, she asked the father of the two kids that died.
He had an excuse every time. Either he's working, they can't come where he's living. He lived with a female and the parents and them don't want kids there or something.
She also asked the city of Detroit for help.
I reached out in November. I reached out before that. I've been on the CAM list for a long time. And every time I called to ask if they have a bed, they said they don't have family beds.
So the 7 of them had been sleeping in their 2002 Town and Country van since November. But the kids had everything else.
They ate every day, all day. Goodies, food. They didn't want for nothing. Every day they went to school. I have a mistake.
And the kid's grandmother, 49-year-old Yvette Goodman, was also in the van that day. Did the van run out of gas?
I have no idea what happened. I have no idea.
Did you fall asleep?
Yes.
And then when you woke,
Only night I fell asleep. I usually be woke.
and when you woke up, what happened?
My grandson wasn't moving.
A GoFundMe account has been set up to help the family.
And that's one of the reasons we did set the GoFundMe up, so she will be able to have housing for herself and the children, her other remaining children.
We'll put a link to the GoFundMe account on our website, fox2detroit.com.
They got up for school at 12 noon. She said the kids went to school every day, you guys. And I'm not understanding. Okay, you guys. Soldier Girl said good night. They got up for school at noon. I'm not understanding it. You know what? They're posting the GoFundMe and all of that. It just, she said she only did one thing wrong. She said she only did one thing wrong. She asked the wrong people for help. See, they have not They have not put out the information, but that's what they're saying about her. But I want to know. And that happened February. Let me see what the father say.
Right now, we're going to turn to our other big story of the night. A father speaking to us tonight after learning 2 of his kids died from exposure to the cold in a casino parking lot.
Yesterday, 7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham spoke to the mother of those 2 kids about the tragic situation.
Yesterday, I woke them up to wake them up from school. My son wasn't moving. And I kept saying, Freddie, please get up. Please.
Well, tonight, Darren is getting the father's side of this story, hearing about the moment he learned 2 of his children had passed away.
Darnell Curry Sr. wiped away tears while talking with me about his children, Darnell Jr. and Amelia, and the distressing phone call he says he took from their mother, Tatiana Williams, on Monday.
I went to the gym. As soon as I got on the treadmill, she called saying, can I make it to the hospital right now? Beg on him. I was hoping it was a sick joke, but it wasn't.
According to Detroit police, 9-year-old Darnell Jr. and 2-year-old Amelia died while sleeping in a vehicle at the Hollywood Casino at Greektown parking garage. Investigators say the cause appears to be hypothermia, a tragedy stemming from homelessness.
I tried. I asked for help. I asked everybody, even people out of state. But I tried. I tried to keep hotels. I tried to pay people to stay there. It wasn't working for me. You know, people just didn't like too many kids at their house.
I spoke with the children's mother Tuesday evening. She told me she's been living in her vehicle for 3 months, along with her 4 kids, her mother, and 2 teenage siblings. She says she reached out to Curry, who's the father of 3 of her children.
I asked him, I said, can you get your kids for me? I said, I need help. You know I'm homeless. I kept a room this long. I couldn't keep it no more.
They were homeless. Had Tatiana ever reached out asking to...
No, she did not. All she said was, can I get them? Can I get them? Just to get them, and can I get them? Because y'all homeless. That's 2 different things.
She said she had been homeless for 3 months.
See, that's what I saw, about 3 months, but she ain't never said nothing to me. Nothing. So all them other sob stories, they can cut all that. No, she did not.
Curry, who lives in Novi, says Williams never specified why she wanted to drop their kids off to him.
She just asked, can I get them for a couple of days? But I told her I'm working and all that, and I'm out here. We're not close to each other, so I couldn't. But she knows all my family is right around the corner from her.
Did she reach out to any of your family?
No, she did not. And she knows
What?
she could have, like we always used to do.
He says the last time he held his children was a month or 2 ago, and that they typically FaceTime, moments he will miss. And there's a, police investigation into this. What is it you would like to see come of this? Obviously, nothing's going to bring back your 9-year-old and your 2-year-old.
No matter to me. Can't get them back, so it's whatever.
Darren Cunningham, 7 News Detroit.
No, you cannot get them back. Our heart aches for this family.
Okay. So the father says she asked him, could he get the kids? Not that she was homeless and he needed to get the kids. They're staying in 2 different towns, and he had just came back from the gym. So he said she didn't tell him that. She just told him, could you just get the kids? Could you just get the kids? And she said she been having a room. She just couldn't keep paying for the room. So you guys, we'll talk about that later. I'm going to get off of here. And I will see you guys Monday. Hopefully at the same time. She probably been leaving them children on him. No, he said he didn't see the kids for a month before then. And they usually just FaceTime. All right, you guys. I'm going to let you guys be good, be great. Thank you, Sugar Mama, for the super chat. one for the road.
But golden nuggets.
SP News Nuggets. And you guys, we're going to have a lovely time. And if we don't, oh well, here we go.
I'm known to throw shade.
Naziah Robinson died as the result of a spinal injury.
Well, they told us it was alcohol poisoning.
Go and terrorize black and brown communities.
Tell me the truth. I won't even get mad. I won't get mad.
Are you sure you ain't gonna get mad?
I'm not gonna get mad. Just tell me if you slept with her yesterday. I won't
Are
get
you
mad.
sure you ain't gonna get mad?
I won't get mad.
All right, well, I slept with her.